Okay, let's talk about trust. In a world that is just buzzing with digital noise, how do you actually build something as real and solid as client trust? It is a huge challenge, right? But lucky for us, a new study has mapped out a really practical playbook. So let's dive in and unpack the 6 key strategies for building loyalty that's going to last. And this really gets to the heart of it, this central paradox we're all facing. We've got email, social media, chatbots, endless video calls, all these tools that are supposed to bring us closer. And yet, so often, genuine trust feels harder to find than ever. This is the core question we're going to get some answers to. You know, the very language of trust has changed. It used to be built on things you could see and feel, a firm handshake, a face-to-face meeting. But today, in our hybrid world, trust is built on totally new signals. Things like being upfront about the AI you're using, really showing empathy through a screen, and even creating solutions with your clients, not just for them. It's a whole new ballgame. So, to make sense of all this, here's our game plan. We're going to look at the core communication challenge, see how the research actually found the answers, and then we'll break down those 6 key strategies. After that, we'll explore the real-world payoff and wrap up with a look at the future of connection. Let's get into it. All right, let's get right to the heart of the problem, what we're calling the modern communication challenge. And it's this kind of counterintuitive idea that just because we have more ways to talk doesn't mean we have better understanding. In fact, sometimes it can mean the exact opposite. So what the study found was that when our conversations are scattered all over the place, a little bit on email, a little on social media, then a video call, the message can get broken, right? A tone that's perfect in one channel can fall completely flat in another. This fragmentation creates gaps, and it's in those gaps where misunderstanding and doubt start to creep in, eroding the very trust you're trying to build. So how do we fix this? Well, the great thing is, the authors of this study didn't just guess. They went deep. They conducted a serious investigation, combining rigorous academic research with real-world interviews to create a practical playbook for all of us. And they did this by combining the best of both worlds. They reviewed over 50 academic articles, and then they sat down and did in-depth interviews with 15 professionals on the front lines, people in fintech, e-commerce, you name it. And this blend of theory and practice is what led them to uncover 6 really consistent patterns for building trust. And that brings us to the main event, the 6 core strategies for building that lasting loyalty. So let's see how we can actually put these things into action. Just 6. 6 powerful, evidence-based ideas that can totally change how you connect with your clients in this digital age. Okay, here they are at a glance. Being proactive when a crisis hits. Using AI to personalize in a smart way, genuinely engaging on social media, being transparent about your algorithms, showing empathy on video, and finally, my favorite, co-creating with your clients. Ready to jump in? Let's break them down one by one. First up, crisis communication. Look, when things go wrong, it is so tempting to just go silent and hope it blows over. But the research shows that's the absolute worst thing you can do. Trust is actually strengthened when you respond with speed and genuine care. So the big takeaway here is that a crisis is actually an opportunity to build even stronger trust, not just defend it. Strategy number 2 is all about AI, and it's a balancing act. The key is to use data to be genuinely helpful, offering relevant suggestions or support. But you've got to walk a fine line. Don't be creepy. Don't use personal info in a way that makes clients feel like they're being watched. The golden rule is transparency. AI personalization works when it feels like helpful service, not like surveillance. Strategy 3 is all about infusing social media with humanity. I love that phrase. It can't just be a broadcast channel for your corporate announcements. The study really hammers home the need for active, empathetic engagement. That means listening to conversations, responding with real care, and showing the actual people behind the brand. The big idea? Treat social media like a conversation, not a megaphone. Now, strategy 4 is a really modern one, algorithmic transparency. We all live in a world of recommendations and curated feeds, and trust is built when you pull back the curtain and explain why a client is seeing a certain product or piece of content. That transparency builds confidence. So in short, explaining the why behind the tech builds way more trust than the tech itself. For strategy 5, let's talk video calls. The research found that really specific things, like actually looking at the camera to create eye contact, having a clean, non-distracting background, and paying attention to the other person's nonverbal signals are absolutely crucial for conveying empathy. And why is that? because these little details show that you're present, that you're engaged, even when you're miles apart. On video, your actions are everything. And the final strategy might just be the most powerful of all: client co-creation. Think about it. When you invite clients into the process to help create solutions, you're not just selling them something, you are building something together. This simple shift turns clients from passive consumers into active partners, and that creates the ultimate form of loyalty. So, turning customers into partners, communicating with humanity, being transparent, these strategies sound great, but do they actually work in the real world? Let's look at the tangible payoff, because building trust isn't just some nice idea, it is a core business imperative. When you actually implement these strategies, the results are so concrete. The study highlights that businesses see way higher customer retention, which means your trusted clients stick around. You see a bigger customer lifetime value because they buy more from you over time. And you gain a massive competitive edge because, let's be honest, in a crowded market, trust is the ultimate and maybe the rarest differentiator. Okay, let's wrap this all up by looking ahead. Because as AI gets more sophisticated and our lives get more and more digital, the very nature of what trust and connection even mean is going to keep evolving. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. The strategies we've talked about today are all about blending technology with humanity. But as AI gets better and better at mimicking empathy, what will a genuine connection truly mean? That's a question we're all going to be grappling with as we build the future of trust in our digital world.